Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If it's your first time here, hello, my name is Jessica. Subscribe to my channel, and while you're at it, don't forget to turn on that notification bell. That way you can be notified every time I upload a brand new video. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on this look right here. We are doing it old school YouTube today. I'm going to be doing a chill, sit down makeup tutorial. I'm going to go through the steps of how I got this look. I was actually very inspired by the month of September to create this look because if you guys did not know, fun little fact, the birthstone for the month of September is the sapphire gemstone. And I remember when I was a little girl, I had a pair of sapphire earrings, and so that is what inspired this look today. So it is very blue, very gemstone-y, and I'm just obsessed with the way it turned out, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. I'm going to start on the eyes, and I already went ahead and primed my eyelids off of camera, and for that I used the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and then I set the concealer in place with the Milk Makeup Blur and Set Setting Powder. So now that my eyelids are primed and ready for eyeshadow, I'm going to take this eyeshadow palette right here. This is the Urban Decay Stoned palette, and first of all, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just look at that. And then on the inside, it's just as pretty. So this is what it looks like. It just has glitter shadows, and I'm going to be using this eyeshadow color right here. That is going to be the star of the show for today's look. But of course, we got to start with the transition shade, and for the transition shade, I'm going to start with this one right here. This is in the shade Antidote. I'm going to just take a fluffy brush. This is the Morphe MM41. So I'm going to just take this back and forth in my crease on this fluffy brush. I'm also going to apply this shade to the outer corner as well to help blend out any colors that we put down in this area. Now I'm going to go in with the shade Rustic from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. And I'm going to take that on this smaller fluffy blending brush. This is the Zoeva 224 brush. And then I'm going to take this shade and lightly sweep it below where we applied that first transition shade. Again, going in back and forth motions just to help blend it out. I'm also going to take that color onto the outer corner of the eye and diffuse it out. Then I'm going to take this shade right here called Cola from the Morphe X James Charles palette. I'm going to take that shade on this Sigma E25 blending brush. So then I'm just going to take this color and place it right below that brown. I don't want to take it up too high, so I'm going to keep it nice and low and then just blend out the edges to kind of blend in together with the brown. Taking it all the way in and then all the way out and onto the outer corner as well. Then I'm going to go back in with the brush that I used for the brown color, and I'm just going to lightly go over the edges of the blue to help blend the blue and brown together. But I'm not adding any additional product onto this brush. I'm just kind of doing it with whatever's left on there. Now I'm going to go in with this shade right here called Ojo from the Urban Decay Stone palette. With my finger, I'm going to pat this color into place, and I'm going to blend it upward into that dark blue crease color that we have, also bringing it all the way into the inner corner and meeting with the outer corner here as well. This color is so pretty, and the pigment is insane. Just look at that, like one swipe, absolutely incredible. Again, taking that into the inner corner and then blending it all the way up, using patting motions with the finger. Going into the brush that I used for the shade Cola with no additional product, I'm just going to blend out these edges right here and to see if I can diffuse it a little bit without removing some of that glitter and pigment. I'm pretty pleased with the way the eyeshadow is looking right now, so I'm going to apply some eyelashes off of camera. For lashes, I'm going to be taking a double stacked pair of Ardell Wispy lashes, so I'm going to pop those right on and I'll be right back. And I'm back with some lashes. Okay, so now it's time to move on to the face, which is my absolute favorite part. So I'm going to be taking two foundations and mixing them together. They're the same foundation, but two different shades because right now I'm in between shades. And this is the When Life Gives You Lemons High Function Foundation. I was actually sent these in PR and they have been like my ride or die ever since. These are comparable in my opinion to like the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. They're high coverage and matte, like a soft matte finish. You guys will see here how it works. But this is in the shade 160 2W, and then this one's in the shade 200 3W. So I mainly take more of the lighter shade than I do of the darker foundation shade. And of course, always on the handy dandy palette, I'm gonna take a small little pump, that much of the lighter shade, and then an even smaller amount of the darker shade. Mix them together, and then whatever's left over on my finger, I'm just going to dot it on my face. And then with this e.l.f. buffing foundation brush, I'm just going to take some and then just apply it all over. And I like to stipple the foundation onto my skin as opposed to like, you know, swiping, swirling, or whatever. I just feel like I get the most coverage this way. So I'm just going to pat it all over until everything is nice and blended out. And then for concealer, I'm going to be taking whatever was left from the foundation and applying that under the eyes with this Flower Beauty brush. It doesn't have a name on it, so I don't know what brush this is, but I will have all the products that I'm using linked down in the description. That way, if you guys are interested in checking out anything that I'm featuring in this video, it will all be down there. So I'm just going to apply this underneath the eyes and just kind of giving this a little bit of shape too, cleaning it up like right here on the edges, just kind of swiping it back like this. Just lightly, because I don't want like a super stark line, but just very lightly kind of giving it a little bit of a cleanup right here on the outer corner. And then just taking whatever's left and patting it onto place. But you see, you guys, like I barely used any foundation and that was more than enough to cover everything, which is a really big reason why I love this foundation, because a little does go a long way, meaning that the product will last you a lot longer and you don't have to spend as much on foundation. To warm up the face, I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild contour stick. This is in the shade Call Me Maple, and I just like to dot it right where I want to contour. So on my cheekbones, right here around my forehead. And then to blend this out, I like to use this brush right here. This is the Real Techniques Duo Fiber Contour Brush. And I just stipple this back and forth right here in this region, not going up, down, just side to side, and blending that in. This product blends in really, really seamlessly. I love this one and the shade Oaks on You. Once that contour shade is all nice and blended, I'm going to go in with some cream blush. For today, I'm going to take this one. This is the Flower Beauty Blush Balm in the shade Pinched. I don't use this one as much. My favorite go-to is Melon, which is this one right here. It's a lot more of like a vibrant pink, but because we have a lot going on the eyes, I want to keep the blush a little bit more muted for today. So that's why I'm going for this one as opposed to my absolute favorite, which is this one right here. I'm just going to stipple this color onto my cheeks using this brush right here. This is the Duo Fiber Contour Brush from Wet n Wild. I love this one. I actually got this one on Amazon and it's super cheap. I believe it's under like $2, but it works so incredibly well. So I'm just going to pat this all over the apples of my cheeks and then blending it into that contour shade as well. As you can see, it just gives like the slightest sheen of color and it's not too intense, so it complements well with the eyes and it's not like overpowering. Because I felt like if I were to use the other shade, it would look a little clownish, and that's not the vibe I'm going for today, so I feel like this color works just well. It's a very nice like neutral color too. Let me show you guys. So this is how it comes out. You just squeeze it onto your hand and that's it right there. It's like a very muted, very neutral blush tone, which is absolutely beautiful. The formula of these is like chef's kiss. It's so, so, so good. I love these. Very quickly, I'm going to go back in with the contour shade and just draw out two lines right here on the sides of my nose. And then with this brush, this is the 227 brush from Zoeva. I'm just going to blend those, just going up and down, up and down, up and down until it's all nice and blended. This takes a little bit, but it's totally worth it. And then going back in with that Flower Beauty brush with no additional product, I'm just going to blend everything out a little bit, just going over it very lightly so that it doesn't look too harsh. And then I also like to take the blush brush that I just used, that dual fiber one, and then just kind of go over the area to give a little bit of a flush to the nose as well. Okay, now that we're done with all the liquid and cream products, it's time to set everything in place with some powders. So I'm going to start off by setting the under eye, and for that I'm going to be taking this powder right here. This is the Maybelline Superstay powder. I'm going to be taking two shades actually and mixing them together. This one right here, this is in the shade 220 Natural Beige, and then this one right here, this is in the shade 120 Classic Ivory. I'm taking this brush. This is the e.l.f. blush brush. I know it's meant for blush, but it just fits right underneath the eye like perfectly. But of course, before I set anything in place, I'm just going to quickly pat underneath the eye to get rid of any creasing. Even though we didn't use a lot of product under there, I just still want to make sure that there's no creasing. So I'm going to take the darker shade first and then go in with the lighter shade, tap it, and then just lightly set under here. I don't know if you can tell a difference, but I just feel like it looks so much smoother on this side with powder. It just looks softer than the non-powdered side. So then again, I'm just gonna go in and set everything in place. And then using these same two colors, I'm just going to lightly dust the center of the forehead, and then right here and right here. Basically just the T-zone area, which is where I get the absolute most oily. Now I'm going to set my contour and my blush, and I'm going to take two oldies but goodies, and those are the Hula Bronzer by Benefit, which I feel like is still a cult favorite and everyone is like still obsessed with this product, and for good reason. It's like the best. And this blush right here, this is MAC Melba. This is an old school blush. If you know, you know, but it's still so good, and the color is still just like perfect for everyday wear. So I'm going to take the bronzer first, and as you can see, I'm in desperate need of a new one because I have completely hit pan, so I'm just like scraping off the edges at this point. But I'm going to take that on this brush right here. This is a Flower Beauty brush. It again does not have the name, but this is the shape of it. So I'm just going to scrape the edges of that powder, dust off any excess, and then just apply some of that here on the forehead, basically anywhere where I applied the cream bronzer. A little on the nose. Just give it a dusting, and then I take a tiny bit underneath the lip. And now with the blush, this color is so pretty. I'm going to take that on this stippling brush from e.l.f. I swear I use all affordable brushes, but they work so good. So I'm just going to smile and apply that to the apples, and then bring it up where I apply the contour. Smile in the apples, blend it up, and of course I'm going to just take the tiniest bit and apply it on my nose just to give me that like sun-kissed kind of vibe, which I love so much. This technically isn't a highlighting powder, but I do think that it will get the job done and get the job done well. This is the Petal Play Shadow Quad from Flower Beauty, and all of these shades are so beautiful. They're all shimmering shades, and of course I've used these two already. These are more pinks, which I feel like could be like a blush topper if you are into that kind of stuff. But I'm going to use this lighter shade in the upper right hand corner, and I'm going to just take the tiniest amount and apply that on the nose. Just look at that. Wow. Insane. I had a highlighting palette from them, but my little sister needed a highlighting palette, and so I just gifted it to her because I use this one all the time, so I knew she would get more use out of it. She's going back to school and she's like, I need a highlighting palette, and I was like, girl, I got you, don't worry. So now I'm going to take that same shadow, and on this little brush I'm just going to pop that right here on the inner corner, and then I'm also going to just bring it up into this area of the eye. I just feel like it really helps to open it up. So again, just repeating the same thing, applying it in the inner corner and then taking it up into this section. I just feel like it just gives, I don't know, it gives it something that I like. So then a little bit on the Cupid's bow. I don't ever really do this, but you know what, for the sake of this video I might as well just go all in. It looks like I just had a glass of milk and now my top lip's all shiny. And then on this Morphe M501 brush, I'm going to take, again, some more of that shade, and a tiny, tiny amount, because you see how pigmented this stuff is. It's no joke. Just gonna take the tiniest amount and just put it on the tops of the cheekbones. Wow, it's so pretty. Honestly, this is such a good palette. So if you guys are looking for like highlighter that's not your traditional highlighter, try this out. It is really affordable too. So that's basically the highlight done. For the lash line, I'm basically going to apply the same exact eyeshadows that I applied on the lid in the same order. Now that I've zoomed you guys in, I totally realized that I forgot to do my eyebrows, so that will be the next step. So now I'm taking the shade Rustic and applying it a little bit above that initial shade that we laid down. So now once it's all nice and blended, I'm going to go in with this shadow stick. This is from Urban Decay and it is in the shade Chaos. And it's just like a cobalt blue color. And I'm basically going to apply this as eyeliner and then also slightly underneath the lower lash line. Then with the same brush, I'm just going to blend that color in to the brown so that it's nice and seamless. Going back in with the shimmering blue eyeshadow, I'm just going to take that on my finger and then apply it right above that blue color and then blend it out with this pencil brush. Then to finish off the eyes, I'm just going to go in with some lower lash mascara and just apply a generous amount to the lower lashes. Moving on to the brows. For the brows, I'm going to be taking this BH Cosmetics Studio Brow Palette. So I'm going to start with the lightest color. And I'm just going to brush through my eyebrows and then just start filling in. I mainly need to fill in the top part because that's what's most sparse. So I just take some and then just kind of draw some hair-like strokes right here. Fill it in and then just take a little bit more and fill in the tail because the tail is also just like not fully there. All right, so there it is. That was pretty quick. And then this brow is a lot more fuller than the other brow, so it doesn't need nearly as much, just a little right here because it's more sparse. And thicken up the tail because this one does have a tail, it's just a little bit more sparse. And then just kind of give it some shape here. And that's basically it for the brows. Thankfully I have pretty full eyebrows that I don't think need a lot. And then for the front, I just grab whatever's left over and just kind of fill in like so. That was maybe a little bit too much. Told you this pomade was pigmented. No joke. I'm gonna set it in place with this NYX Brow Glue Eyebrow Gel. Brush the hairs upwards so that they're nice and fluffy. And then move on to the next eyebrow. Brush the front so it's nice and fluffy. I'm just like obsessed with bushy brows right now. I think they're so pretty. For the lip, I'm gonna take this NYX lip pencil in the shade Ever. This is my favorite shade ever. I'm just gonna quickly line. And then with my finger, I just blend that in. Because it gives it more of like a soft line and not such a stark, like crisp line. Just gonna do the same. Draw it out and then with my finger blend it out. For lipstick, I'm gonna be taking this one right here. This is the Urban Decay Vice lipstick. This is the matte shade in What's Your Sign. I think it's so pretty, and even though these are matte, they are crazy comfortable and very pigmented. So one swipe is literally all that I need except for the outer edges. And then for lip gloss, because I'm feeling some gloss today, I'm going to take this one again from Urban Decay. This is their Vice Plumping Shine Balm. This is in the shade Runyon, and I'm just going to take that and apply it all over the lips to make them nice and glossy. Go over the Cupid's bow just a little bit. And now that the gloss is on, that basically finishes off this makeup look, and I am actually really pleased with it. I was winging it the whole time, and I feel like it turned out pretty good. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. So that wraps up this video, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, that way you're notified every time I upload a brand new video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all very much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!